It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
If you're a parent right now, you already know the cost of living has gone up. Rent, childcare, groceries. When the cost of living rises, government must rise to meet it. And we have. Under the revised ECAP policy, our Early Childhood Assistance Program, we've increased funding to keep pace with what families are actually paying today for their children's early education. Who benefits? A father working every hour he can. A single mother doing it alone. A grandparent raising grandchildren they love. Maybe that's you. Up to 235 Caymanian children will benefit directly, and I want every single one of them to have the start they deserve. That is why we're here. If you've applied before and been disappointed, I encourage you to try again. If you've never applied because you assumed you wouldn't qualify, now is the time to find out. And if the funding didn't feel like enough before, it should now. Is your child 3 years old and Caymanian? You may qualify. Visit us at moeapplications.gov.ky and apply for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. How's everything going? We are here live and direct. Well, I can't say from the Cayman Islands, but of course, CMR is from the Cayman Islands, but we are on vacation and we still have a show for you folks. Some good information this morning. Lots of moving parts as we're getting some details on some of what is happening. So please bear with me today as I try to ascertain a few things that I am well aware of that's happening. And yes, one has to do with the New York flight from Cayman Airways last night. I'm trying to get my bearings on this. I've just woken up to this news this morning that Cayman Airways had some issue with the flight. And so as soon as we have further details, I will be in a position to update all of you. So like I said, please bear with me. As soon as I know something, you will know something as well. So not good news, that's for sure. But we want to try to make sure we get it as accurate as possible. And I'm just verifying and checking with a few sources to ensure that that happens. All right. So good morning, folks. Happy Tuesday. Hope that you guys are well. We weren't able to get on radio yesterday, and to be honest, we couldn't quite figure out why. So we're not too sure what the position is here today, whether we are or not. If we're not, well, we'll continue to do the program online because we literally still get thousands of daily views there. So that's how it is. We'll just continue to go with it. I do have a guest in the studio with us this morning, and so we're going to kick off with that first, and then I'll circle back to a few other things, including that crazy weather yesterday. That was just so bizarre and so odd, but it happens on occasion that we get basically what's the equivalent of a tornado on land. We call them a water spout when they're out in the ocean, and they turn into a tornado once they touch down here on land. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We got some footage of, what transpired. And wow, it seems like it was quite a scary event. So we're going to get to that just here in a second. But before we do all of that, I want you guys to put your virtual hands together for me, please, as we do have a guest here in the studio who is going to be joining us, or who is joining us, I should say, to tell us about this wonderful event that they hosted over the summer. So just now, we have Ms. Sabrina Flores Mathura, who's going to be talking about child and teen safety matters workshops that were recently held. So let us go ahead and welcome Ms. Sabrina to the program. Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a topic that we always, support in any way that we can. And we were so pleased to hear that you guys were educating people. So tell us a little bit, Sabrina, before we kick off, about the substance of the workshops. What is your position in relation to the workshops, and what is your role when it comes to child safety?
Okay, so I am a parenting practitioner at the Family Resource Center, which is one of the 3 agencies of the Department of Counseling Services. Mm-hmm. And over the past 2 years, we have been offering the Monique Burr Foundation Child and Teen Safety Workshops here in Cayman. We just finished over the past week. We've run 3 of those workshops, 2 here in Grand Cayman, and on Saturday, I'm happy to report we ran one in Cayman Brac as well.
Oh, amazing.
I'm so happy we were able to do that.
Yeah, because the Brac, I feel like sometimes the sister islands get left out. So that sounds wonderful. So we're going to go into some of the details in terms of what the workshop actually covered. First of all, was it open to anyone who wanted to attend?
Absolutely. So it's age-appropriate curriculum. So if they were teenagers, they would be in the teen safety program. If they were younger, they would be in the child safety program. It is 100% free of charge to anyone living in the Cayman Islands, or any child living in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, let's go through now and discuss a little bit about what would have been covered. Is this the first year that you're hosting this event, or is this event that has been held in the past?
This is our 2nd year, and it's definitely growing, and I love that. We've been able to offer it in a couple of schools here in Grand Cayman, and we've done the off-site workshops at various locations. It is 100%, I think, a topic that we need to ensure every single child in the Cayman Islands is having conversations about with safe adults. And sometimes these topics can be quite tricky for parents. They don't know how to talk about child abuse and some of these really delicate subjects. and potentially maybe they avoid talking about those subjects with their children. And so we want to make sure that someone is talking to them as much as possible. And this program opens that door. It allows teachers to hear some of the language that we're using, some of the techniques that we're encouraging children to use. And it also trains parents too how to have these conversations with their children about these topics that children are 100% dealing with from a very young age.
It's so funny because I feel like this is very, very timely because, I have a lot of parents who will reach out to me and have discussions with me about a number of different things. And just yesterday, quite ironically, a parent was not happy that their child in school had gone through a, safety program, really talking about child abuse. And so, what do you say to parents who feel like, oh, well, I don't know what you're going to be telling my child. I don't know if this is age appropriate. Really, they don't want their children to know anything about this because they think, this is going to confuse them. What do you say to those parents who have reservations?
Well, I absolutely understand. I'm a parent as well, and you want to make sure that whatever they're learning aligns with your values and your belief system, and of course, you want to make sure that it's age appropriate. So our curriculum allows for us to teach parents first. So before we ever work with the children, parents are invited to attend a workshop where they are shown all the curriculum and they have the ability to opt in or out. So if they decide, I don't know that my child's quite ready for this, they can have their child sit out of the program, and that's 100% okay. I think parents feel empowered when they're given that choice. And I personally have never had a parent do that. Once they realize, like, okay, these are topics that they're delicately handled and they're relevant, and I know that my child needs to hear this and normalize it a little bit. I haven't had any parent decline. So, and it's on and beyond just, child abuse. That is, of course, the goal is to teach children, empower children to keep themselves safe or to do things that can keep themselves safe or protect themselves, under the guiding principle that every child deserves to be safe. And it's not just about the child abuse. We go into, cyberbullying, bullying, how to be in a healthy versus unhealthy relationship. And, for the younger children, that's not a romantic relationship. We're teaching them about relationships in general. That's going to transfer over for the rest of their life, whether it's school, peer relationships, romantic relationships, and eventually employer relationships. These skills are going to be valuable to them forever. They also learn about a lot of tips on how to stay safe online, which is, I know that's a hot topic for parents because we can barely keep up with all of the new things that children are being exposed to online, but it helps children to recognize that there are things happening behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. So here are some red flags that you need to look out for, and then here's what to do if you see it. But it goes on and beyond just child abuse. It covers so many different areas of child safety with the constant background message that you deserve to be safe. You deserve to be able to say, this doesn't feel okay, and I can say no, and it doesn't matter who it is that's making me feel uncomfortable. I have the right to opt out and get out, and here are some things that I can do.
So for the workshop, it was July the 29th from 8:30 in the morning until 12:30. Just walk us through, and you had two different age groups, ages 8 to 11 and then 12 to 15. Walk us through what the day was like for the kids and what they actually did on last week, Wednesday. How many children took part as well?
So we had the two different groups. I think we had a total, I would say, just under 20 children between the two groups, which is a good size. We don't want it ever to be too big or too small. So it was a good mix. In terms of, the age and, they weren't all the same age. So we had a good conversation going in each of the groups. The children started out with learning the 5 safety rules, and, I'll just go over that with you so that the parents listening can also maybe use some of these terms. The first one is to know what's up, and they learn, the younger children learn a little action to go with it, but that's learning something as basic as, do you know your parents' full name? And you'd be surprised how many children don't know their parents' full name. And we explain to them by scenarios, right? And which child doesn't love to talk about a what if situation? So what if you were, lost, you didn't have a phone, and you needed to tell the police officer your parents' name, and you don't know it. You don't know their full name. Your phone number, your parents' phone number, is it memorized, or is it just in your cell phone? And then, of course, your home address. And I can tell you, as a former educator, that is something that we completely take for granted. We assume our children know, but if you don't teach them, they won't know. So we need them to know. So that's the first thing that they can do. Know what's up, learn to recognize where they're at, the environment that they're in, is everything safe? Who am I with? Ask questions. And then the second safety rule is to ensure that you are spotting red flags. And, we know as adults, like, we're seasoned, right? At that gut feeling. But what is that, right? That takes years and years of our experiences and knowledge and to come up with these gut feelings that tell us this doesn't feel right. Children don't necessarily have as a refined gut feeling, but they know when something makes them uncomfortable, and that's enough, right? If it's making you feel uncomfortable, stop. Start asking questions. What's going on? Why is this making me uncomfortable? And then make a move. If it doesn't feel right, don't stay. And I know this is tricky for even adults. How many times have we listened to stories of someone saying they survived a crime and it felt uncomfortable. I felt like I shouldn't have walked down but I kept going, and we don't want that. We want them to listen to those cues, those body cues that are telling them, oh, I don't like the way this feels, or this person's making me uncomfortable, and then act on it. Move, go somewhere else, get help, do something, but don't stay. You don't have to stay in a situation that makes you uncomfortable or unsafe. And then to talk it up. And then we go into quite a bit of detail on how to do that, recognizing who to talk to, because that's huge. You don't want to talk about something maybe that's very delicate to the wrong person. You want to make sure that you recognize a person that is either a safe friend or a safe adult. So we teach them, spot a safe friend is someone who you can trust, who's not going to make you feel like it's your fault that something happened, that's going to give you good advice or be, supportive to you. And if it's a big problem, and we teach them to recognize the difference, right, then you still need to talk to a safe adult. So in those situations, it's not enough just to talk to your friend or a safe friend. You also need to get the support of a safe adult. And then we have them recognize those safe adults in their lives. And they even give them a little bookmark that says, I chose you. And it tells them, like, I feel safe with you. You're the person I'm going to come to if I have a problem. Because when you're in the moment, and you're dealing with something that's overwhelming, that's not the time for you to be wondering who your safe adults are. You want to have them identified already so that you're not having one more thing to figure out. You already know if, God forbid, you're in a compromising or dangerous situation. So the last one, and I think that this is the one that I think as parents, as community members, we have to do more of this in ingraining it in children and everyone. No blame, no shame. So this happened, it's not your fault. And if you saw something happen to someone else, it's not their fault. We're not going to shame them for it. We're going to be supportive. And we focus quite a bit on empathy and the difference between sympathy and empathy, which people use interchangeably, but they are day and night. And so we go through like a scenario where they have to put themselves in a situation using empathy versus sympathy, and you recognize that's a totally different outcome. So the sympathy is like, "Ah, sorry that happened," and then off you go, right? And it's you having to dig deep into a similar situation and imagining what that felt like for you, and going through those emotions, reliving it, and when you're able to do that, it makes it a lot easier for you to connect to that person and find a way to help them. And even more importantly is having that empathy for yourself, having that self-talk. So this happened to me. It's not my fault. I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not going to say, I deserve it. I'm going to have empathy for myself. I deserve something, and that is to be safe. I deserve to trust, and I deserve to be safe. So that's the self-talk we want, not the shaming and the blaming.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not fear-based, which is important. I think that is one of the concerns that parents have. I know I would, is my child going to come out of this afraid? It's not that, it's not based on fear. It's meant to empower children to know this is the reality. Not everyone is safe. Not everyone has good intentions. And you have the ability to do some things that can help protect yourself. And even if that's not you directly stopping something, you have the power to get help to stop something that's happening. So it's a very positive program. I absolutely love teaching it. I learned quite a bit, especially from the high school students, because it's grassroots. You're hearing exactly what is happening, what they're dealing with, and a lot of those misconceptions, especially as it relates to consent. So we talk a lot about that, starting from the little ones all the way up to the big ones. But what exactly is consent from start to finish? And we have this amazing video that we show them. It's hilarious, and it's meant to be funny so that the children get it. But it helps them to recognize that it doesn't matter when someone says no. It doesn't matter if I say yes and then 2 minutes later I say no and then yes again. It doesn't matter. I can say no and yes a million times, but the no means no. And if I'm not awake, if I'm not alert, all of those different facets of consent are factored in an age appropriate way. So we don't have the same conversation with the little ones, but we do talk about consent with them so they understand and start getting that sense of, okay, no means no, stop means stop. And it's an important message for sure.
Yeah. So the Child and Teen Safety Matters says that it's evidence-based. What does that mean in practice? Who developed it? And why did FRC choose this particular curriculum?
So this is part of the Monique Burr Foundation. They have developed this program. Monique Burr was a passionate child advocate and safeguarding advocate. And she passed away suddenly and tragically. And her family, in her name, created this foundation to carry out her legacy of helping children to stay safe. So they developed this program, and this program, when it is evidence-based, it means that they have collected data over time to show that it has an impact on children's understanding of these topics. So when we deliver the program, they do a pre-test and it's more of a survey. What do you understand about these topics? And then you do it again at the end to see what has changed. And the data shows it changes. They do understand, they develop a deeper understanding. And then if the parents are also on board and the children are going home and continuing these conversations with their children, you can imagine how much more ingrained these messages will be. And then you can take it up a notch and think, as a community, if we're learning to have these conversations openly about consent, about bullying, about our right to be safe, imagine how much easier it is for children to pick it up when we're all saying the exact same thing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about how the material is adjusted for the different age groups? And of course, bullying and cyberbullying looks different at each stage, right?
Absolutely. The high school curriculum is completely different. So the topics are overall the same, cyber bullying, and then cyber concerns there, also like digital safety, things like that. So for our child safety programs, we have that based on year group. So it is very age appropriate for them. And then in high school, it's chunked by age, like from 12 to 13, 13 to 14. So it is very different for, let's say, year 5. They're going to be learning about cyberbullying, and they're going to be learning about different apps, and we don't name them specifically. Usually the children will start talking about which ones. We talk about what to do if you recognize that someone's out, on there asking you for information. And I absolutely love the conversations that the children share with me and the other facilitators, because you're recognizing that this is happening to them. So the children already know. They'll tell you, oh, all you do is report them to a moderator. And that, for them to know that in year 3 or year 2 tells you they're dealing with this. And we don't, as parents, we don't know that they're out reporting people that are bothering them, because it's become just part of being online. And so it's really important that we recognize that this is happening and teach them, okay, that's not enough. Good job reporting it to a moderator, but let's go back to our 5 safety rules. Do we want to make a move? Should we stay here in this app or this game with someone who's making us, if you're having to report them, something's wrong, and talk it up. That's the time you want to get your parent or a safe adult to join in with you. Look, this person's doing this, and get some guidance from an adult. So that would be more of the primary school age. And then we talk to them about, this is a big one, anything you post is there forever. And when you're young, that's a hard reality. It doesn't make sense. Forever is relative to you. But as they get older, that makes a lot more sense. By the time they're in high school, though, that conversation is definitely more important for them, because they're doing more of the posting in high school, and they're doing, more of the impulsive pictures and things that they think they can delete, and that it's gone, and it's not. And so at that age, once they're in high school, we're able to say, okay, in 5 years, imagine you go for your dream job interview, and your employer does a deep dive into your digital reputation and finds this silly picture from when you were 16. And as much as that might not be fair to be judged by something you did when you were 16, and it isn't fair, that's still a reality, though. That could happen. And so we want to teach them, you may have to end up working harder to prove yourself if you have these things online that may, tarnish your image. So we want to help them to understand these things. They can have an impact on you later. So stop and think before you post. You could say, would you want your mom to see it? Or would you want your teacher to see it? And if the answer is no, don't post it. Whatever you do, don't post it. Another really neat thing that I wanted to share was, we taught this last year, and this year the curriculum was updated again, which is, and for me, that's huge, because every year things are different. Every year the things we're hearing from the schools are different. And last year, I remember having to talk to the children, kind of supplement the material by adding in discussions on AI. And the only reason I knew that that was an issue was because the children in high school, they were telling us what was happening with AI images. So a child would, take their friend's picture and crop it onto something else and then blast it, all over. And so we were able to have, when we were at John Gray, we were able to have a police officer talk to them about the laws relating to doing that and sharing images. And that was really, really impactful because they didn't know, the children did not know that you can get in quite a bit of trouble. Then this year, though, the curriculum was updated to now have a component dealing with AI and understanding the impact that could have if used in the wrong way. So it's really, I love that they're changing and updating to keep up with the changing and world that we live in.
Wow. This is fantastic. No, thank you so much for this information. And we do have a few questions and comments that are coming in as well. So we're going to get to some of those. Island Pearl says, I love this because some kids need a safe person/place to go. And some kids even fear their parents and are stuck at home with them and have no one to turn to. So isn't that something? And I think that the next question, which came in kind of in a way might potentially go hand in hand with what Island Pearl has just said, because we don't think about this, but this individual said that they should produce this workshop into a video format so that it's available for anyone online, to everyone online, say YouTube. It's not always easy to have your child attend a workshop, but it was easy. If it was easy accessible online, parents/guardians can watch with children/teens, and would also be a positive bonding/learning opportunity. Well, I saw that perspective, but then when Island Pearl said what she said, it also made me think about the fact that not every home is a safe place for children. So sometimes the very people that are supposed to be protecting children are not sometimes, quite often, they are the ones who the children fear. And it's, if you have it online, yes, it's more accessible in a way, but it's also then dependent on those parents who probably don't want children to know anything about, protecting themselves or having a safe place or anything of that. They're teaching them to keep secrets, and they're teaching them to not talk to anyone. So what's your comment when someone says, let's just make this online available as a, YouTube video?
I think that it's really important that we find ways to meet the needs of the community. So if parents aren't able to, if it's difficult to get children in for the 4 hours, we can do it, through 1 hour workshops for 4 weeks, but we have to find a way to meet that need, or we can go into the schools to do it. As far as doing it online, so some of the topics here can be triggering. We don't know. So if, for example, you're delivering this program and a child has experienced a traumatic event and this topic, if it's bullying or if they've been in an unhealthy relationship, they need someone in there that's going to be able to move to the next step and support them, right? And a parent may not be able to at that moment. That might be a lot, or they might not understand why my child's reacting that way. So we're ready if a child discloses anything, which has happened, because all of a sudden they get this information, they realize this has happened to them, and then they'll want to disclose to you. So you want to have people that are ready to support the child. Not to say that parents can't support them, but it can be quite overwhelming in the moment, and you may not understand what's happening. So it is something that we want to be able to have people that are prepared to support, the child's needs and understand what's going on. But I do recognize that it's hard, and that, put that on us to find new ways to deliver it to our community. So send us your ideas. It is a evidence-based program, so we are, because it's manualized, we are confined to the license, but there is flexibility in terms of, offering it 4 times a week instead of just a 4-hour session, or going into the schools. Personally, I think the schools, it's an easier way to get to the children. They're there already. Parents don't have to take them anywhere. So if you can come in during their social studies hour for 4 weeks, you've got, 30 children right there. So I think that's one of the easier ways to get to more students in Cayman. But I think every single child in Cayman needs to have this conversation. They need to experience this curriculum, and not once, every single year.
Thank you so much. And I just want to remind our listeners that we are live. You can call into the show. The phone line is open, but it's only WhatsApp calling this week because I am actually overseas. So again, we're talking with Miss Sabrina Flores Matura, who is here telling us about this recent workshop that was held on child safety, child and teen safety matters. And so we're learning a bit about what the children learned and what this program is all about. So, abuse prevention is obviously a very sensitive topic to raise with children. How is it handled in an age-appropriate way without frightening children or overwhelming their parents? Because sometimes I feel like the parents are the ones who are not prepared for the conversation, whereas the kids can be.
Yeah. I when I'm talking to students, before we even broach, the various types of child abuse, I mean, they should be getting this at school, this topic at school as well, as part of their TCHT program. But it's not a deep dive into it. I always say this is a topic that is uncomfortable to listen to sometimes. It might make us feel a little bit silly or uncomfortable. And I don't like talking about it either, and that's the truth. I wish I never had to speak about child abuse, but I have to, because that's the part of helping children to be safe. And so for them to be empowered to be safe and to protect themselves as much as possible, they have to talk about it too. So it's kind of like, it's vulnerable for me too. It's vulnerable for mom and dad. It's vulnerable for you, but it's a must. One of the big messages that I wanted to ensure I took the opportunity to share is the stranger danger myth that we dispel in this program, because that is just not the reality. And you can ask children, what is a stranger? And they'll tell you he's in a white van, he comes out of the bushes at the park and asks you to come help him find puppies. And yes, that could happen, but the vast majority of abuse that occurs with children happens from people that they know. And that is a very difficult, it's really sad when you see their faces. You can actually see them working that out, processing that. What do you mean? Anyone I know should be safe. And so, but we have to say that. We have to, because that's how it's happening, right?
That's the reality. Yeah,
exactly. And those people that are grooming them are able to do it because they're in, right? They've got their foot in the door. And so we need to teach children that no, there's no one on this earth that's allowed to hurt you, and let them believe that, because those are just words. We have to keep saying it until they recognize that, okay, so I'm not, this person can't do this to me. And then it's on us as parents, as schools, as a community, to act on it. So when they come to us and report this, then it's on us to make sure that we do the right thing and take appropriate action to protect our children. Because if we don't, that's the message we left them with, right? So those were just words that, no one's allowed to put their hands on you, no one's allowed to do this. And then they come tell us and we don't do anything about it. We just, sent a mixed message, and that trust could be broken. It'd be hard to rebuild that.
Yes.
There's a big responsibility on us.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you track the outcomes for these sessions?
So For us, we use the pre-test and the post-test to determine, did they grasp the concept. And then we also do a survey for the children to, how did you understand the key concepts? How was, just for overall improvement, were there enough breaks? Is it engaging enough? Because that, we're competing with iPads and Nintendo Switches and things. So if we need to get more engaging, then we need to do it in order to adapt to their learning style. So we take a lot of that data so that we can constantly be improving. But that's the data that we collect. The NBF organization, they would track the overall greater data and statistics. But for us, it's just making sure that we are getting there. Checking what they knew before, checking what they know after, and then just continually keep offering these programs to parents.
Fantastic. All right. So just to wrap up a little bit here, folks, we've been speaking with Ms. Sabrina this morning. They held the workshop last week, Child and Teen Safety Matters, they had materials for ages 8 to 11 and then 12 to 15. It's based on a very specific curriculum. And before we go, can we have just a basic breakdown of the MBF 5 safety rules? Again, this is something that parents and guardians and teachers and everyone might find extremely useful.
Okay, perfect. So number 1 is know what's up. And that's different based on their age. For the little ones, knowing your name, knowing your parents' full name, not just their first name and not their nicknames either, their full names, knowing your home address. Those are really important things, having your parents' phone numbers memorized. Knowing what's up also just means being aware of your environment as well, knowing where you're at, where you're going, who's going to be there, things like that. Number 2 is spotting red flags. Recognize things that aren't right. So online, if somebody is online asking you where you live, there is no reason at all for anyone to need your address. None. So if someone's asking you for your address, that's a red flag. If they're slowly digging for more information, red flag. Or if you're older, you're at a party and you're noticing someone that doesn't look right or someone that doesn't fit, red flag. So learn to be aware and spot those red flags. And then comes make a move. So don't just spot them and say, oh, that's weird. Do something. Move away, get yourself out of that situation. If you're on a game and you're uncomfortable, get out of the game. Don't stay. Don't just keep reporting them to the moderator. That doesn't always work. They just come back on using a different name, right? So making sure that you do something to protect yourself. And it may not be fair that you have to leave, but that's what we have to do to stay safe. And then talk it up. Talk to the right people. Identify a safe friend, someone you trust from now, and then have more than one safe adult identified so that if you're ever in a situation where you need support, you're not having to use that really stressful time to figure out who you think you should talk to. By that, if that were to happen, you would have already had that person identified because you already know that's my safe adult. So talk it up. Don't feel that you need to hold that. I will say to children, that is too big for your heart. It's too big. You weren't designed, when God made us, he did not design you to have to deal with that problem. And that's the truth. So talk it up, get help. And then the last one, which is so important, the no blame, no shame. Don't blame yourself. Don't feel ashamed. And then, of course, the flip side, if someone comes to you, don't blame them and don't make them feel ashamed. That makes the situation and the culture of, child abuse even worse because, that victim shaming is a real thing. So those are our 5 safety rules, totally easy to remember. And, for the little ones, there's action. So it makes it even easier for them to learn it.
Wow, fantastic. So Anthony is asking about the sister islands. I know that this was covered already, Anthony, but perhaps as some of you are joining us late, you didn't hear that. So Sabrina, just sort of tell us a little bit about what's available for the sister islands in terms of this specific program.
Okay, so on Saturday, I ran the teen safety program. I recognize that we need to offer more of these programs. FRC goes to the BRAC once a month for parenting programs, and we take the data from BRAC parents. They tell us what topic they want us to talk about, and we'll go in and deliver a presentation there. While we're there, we fly up. We're happy to deliver the teen safety or child safety. We just need the parents to register. So if we get the interest, we can make it happen for the BRAC. We are so committed to making sure that what we offer here in Cayman and Grand Cayman is also offered in Cayman BRAC. I mean, it's a must that we have the same support for BRAC, and we are working really hard to do that. And it's me that goes, well, I'm one of the practitioners that goes down there, and I love going to the BRAC. So if I have to make an extra trip each month, that would be fine by me.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Emma. Good morning. She's sending everyone's blessings. User HG says having it online sometimes makes it more accessible, but it takes courage for a person to speak up. And I think one of the benefits of having it, with a trained practitioner is there are things that you all might notice with a child, a particular response that then needs perhaps some additional follow-up that you can ensure that child actually gets it. So Cece is here and she says, not at a tender age, especially year 2. So let's talk about not this program, because this program is, for a little bit older, but just your experience in general about providing, this sort of child safety information for children. Is there such a thing as a child who is too young to learn safe boundaries, who's too young to learn to say no to something that makes them feel uncomfortable?
No, it's truly about being age appropriate. So when we're talking about child abuse to a year 2 student, we're not talking about it the same way we would to a high school student. We're talking about where your private area is, and you would be surprised how many children don't know that, because we just assume as parents that they got it. So we don't have that conversation, or maybe it's uncomfortable for us to talk about it. But we will tell them this is your, whatever's covered by your bathing suit, that is your private area. And other than, your parent bathing you, or maybe your doctor during a checkup, no one, it should be touching that part. You can say, no, thank you. And then let an adult know. So it's not meant to be mom's giving me a bath and I'm going to go report to my teacher. It's not. It's meant to be, these are my boundaries. And there is absolutely no such thing as a child who's too young to learn boundaries. What is one of the first words children learn to say? No. Right? That's all you hear them say when they're 1.5. They're saying no, and that's for a reason. So we can teach them to say, no, thank you. I don't like that. And then with the expectation that they're respected. There's nothing wrong with teaching boundaries. So it is, I understand parents' apprehension, thinking we're going to go in there and they're going to have nightmares about someone, coming into their room. It's not meant to be scary. It's meant to help them to understand that their body belongs to them, and they are 100% within their rights to expect that it's safe and that they're respected. And on the flip side, they're expected to respect other people as well. So we do an exercise about boundaries with the little ones, and one child will stand on one side of the room and another on the other side, and one says go. One will start walking towards the other one, and when they stop, when he puts his hand out and says stop, the child has to stop. But so many times in school, right, a child says stop and they keep going. So we teach them, like, when someone says stop, you stop. You don't keep taking 2 or 3 more steps. You stop right then and there. So it's like, it's more boundary setting and recognizing that we have those rights. In terms of the curriculum for a year, for like a key stage 1 age child, they're also learning about online reputation, but in a very different way than they would be in high school. So they're learning about making sure that they're not talking to strangers, that they're not posting silly pictures of their friends, not saying mean things. You're a parent, so I know that this is a problem even in year 1 that teachers are having to deal with, that things happen online, the bullying, the ganging up, the saying ugly things, and the schools are having to deal with the fallout of it. So, it's happening. So I would rather children learn the right way to address them from us, from parents, from us, from the right people, as opposed to YouTubers or, whoever it is they're learning it from. So it is, I get parents' apprehension for sure. But these discussions are meant to help keep children safe and empower them to take steps to keep themselves safe too.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, folks. Let's go ahead and put our virtual hands together. Before we leave, Barbara weighs in on this. She says, I'm a survivor of child abuse, and believe me, it's never too young for kids to be aware, as I think I was 7 and it was not a stranger. Parents, please don't be afraid to protect your children. So thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for sharing that with us, because we know that for so many victims, it is something that they struggle with ever discussing. And so it's important to hear adults who've been through it to come forward and say, yes. There's a Facebook page that I follow that I read a lot of these survival stories, and it is called Tell Someone. And so it's survivors just telling children to tell someone. And if you tell someone and they don't listen or they don't do anything about it, go and tell somebody else. Just keep telling someone until something happens. So thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for that. And let's go ahead, folks, and put our hands together again for Ms. Sabrina. She joined us this morning, Sabrina Flores Matura, on Child and Teen Safety Matters workshop that was recently held through the Department of FRC. And can you tell us a little bit before we let you go? Because I always say that FRC does a lot of amazing things, but I feel like we don't hear a lot about it. So I'm so glad you're on here this morning. The Family Resource Center team located there. They're part of the Department of Counseling Services, Adonis House on Fort Street. And tell us more about how people can find out what the Family Resource Center has available to them, the services. They do a lot of workshops, and how can people find out more?
Absolutely. So we have, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're out there. But I do believe that the way we're going to have every person on this island learn about FRC is going to be grassroots. It's going to be, being on your talk show, one person talking to another person. That's how people are going to learn about the Family Resource Center, because you're right. Nobody, I hear that so often. You guys offer this for free. It's 100% funded by our government, because, the Cayman Islands recognizes that families are the infrastructure of our society. They are everything. So they are investing heavily into our families. And that's a beautiful thing. And I'd say a rare thing. So it doesn't matter your nationality, your income, you qualify if you live on this island. And we have a wealth of programs that we offer to parents. And we're incredibly flexible. So if you can't attend a workshop, let's say, then we'll do Zoom sessions one-on-one with you, or, afternoon sessions. We'll even do sometimes like telehealth, where we can do things over the phone. So we really try and meet the needs of our community. We have family transition programs for families that are maybe going through a separation or a divorce. We have a program that's designed to help parents self-regulate, managing difficult behaviors. We have the SNAP program. I think that's probably more well-known in the community, our SNAP camp. We have workshops for parents that have children with ADHD. We have managing screen time programs. One of my absolute favorites, just to put this out there, is the Positive Discipline program. It is a 6 to 8 week program, and I am telling you, it will change your perspective on parenting. It is just lovely because it's, none of our programs are meant to make parents feel guilty or you need to do it this way ever. You will never walk out feeling that way. What we do is kind of take you back to when you first became a parent, and when you're in that nostalgic stage when you're like, I'm going to do it different than my parents, and I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. And then we're parents and we never get to think about it again because we're just going. So this kind of gives you the chance to go back and look at, like, what are my values? What do I believe versus what was I, what am I just carrying on? What is societal pressure? What is everyone else's and what is mine? And when you do recognize that, discipline becomes so easy because you automatically recognize that doesn't matter. Why am I, getting upset over that? That's not a challenge to our family values. That's just an inconvenience, right? It kind of helps you weed through some of the family issues that you may have been like spinning your wheels over thinking you had to address. I love that program. I'm very passionate about it. So that's another one that we offer, but it's just one of many that we have. So please, my colleague Amber there has just put up our website. So you can log on to our website, register for our programs, and, one of the practitioners will give you a call.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Another parent says, good morning. When my boys were 4 and 5, they became uncomfortable with my seeing or helping them clean their private parts, and I showed them how to clean and respected their boundaries. Young children aren't old enough to understand uncomfortable situations or feelings. So just reiterating that there's probably no such thing as a child is really too young to know that, there are boundaries that should be in place. So thank you so much, Sabrina. We really appreciate you coming on the program this morning and telling us about this workshop. Yes. And might I suggest that next year, when you get ready to do the workshop, you come on beforehand. Yes. And I'm sure your number is going to double.
I would love to. I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Thank you and have a fantastic day.
Thank you too.
All righty. All right, folks. Again, that was Miss Sabrina Flores Mathura from the Family. I always get FRC. Hold on. Family Resource Center. And they're available and they have a lot of good programs. So please go to their website, as her colleague, I think it's Amber, just said here. Yes, frc.gov.ky, and check them out. And so we appreciate them coming on the program this morning. All right. So very, very good discussion. And it's always timely. I can assure you there's no such thing as, oh, why are we talking about this? We don't need this information. You'll see in short order that Renee is going to be putting up a story that right now is in court again about a 7-year-old. So when you talk about, my child is only year 2, Cece, how old is year 2? I don't even know how old that is, but that's probably around that age. And I can tell you from someone who is observing the observing the cases on a regular basis, that you have very young children who unfortunately, sometimes even babies, are being exposed to inappropriate behavior, inappropriate touch. They're already starting to be groomed or even worse. So protect your children, folks. We cannot stress it enough. And not just your children, but any child in the community that, may need our help. It is very, very important that we as adults, as parents, as aunts and uncles and grandparents, teachers, community workers, that we know the signs and that we give children a place where they can feel safe. to find that adult. You may be that adult for a child. You just never know. And so, make children feel safe around you, comfortable around you, and that, they can always reach out to you and speak to you if something is going on with them or they're feeling uncomfortable. And I think that the sooner you start these conversations, quite frankly, the better for your children, because again, there's no such age as, perpetrators don't think, oh, well, those kids are too young for me to want to do something to, unfortunately, right? So you should not feel my child is too young to arm them with the information that they need. These workshops are for specific ages, but just generally speaking, when it comes to child safeguarding, do everything in your power as soon as your children start to understand that, their bodies matter, their opinions matter. And yes, if someone is making them uncomfortable, then of course they can say no. And I loved what she said. That's one of the first words they learn anyway, is they're already saying no to everything. You're trying to give them their peas and whatever when they're babies. They're like, nope, I don't want to eat that. So they very well understand the concept of saying no. And I was reminding myself as well, I'm going to have next week, as of Sunday, a child who's in double digits now and 10 years old, right? I don't know where the 10 years went by. Don't even ask me. It happened so quickly. But again, I remember early on with her when we were doing things regarding just like teaching her little stuff. Before she could even learn to speak, she understood a lot of the world around her. And that's why sign language is such a useful tool, because she knew what she wanted to do. She knew, if she wanted milk. She knew if she wanted to have her bath because it was time to kind of wind down at night and she was getting tired. So children understand so much more, I think, than we give them credit for. Even as babies, they understand a lot. And so might I encourage you to, ensure that you're giving them the tools. Giving her communication tools before she had words allowed her to still be able to express herself and not to get overly frustrated, as oftentimes children will do, right? If they in their little heads, even as babies, like I said, before they have the gift of words, she knew what milk was. She knew what mommy was, daddy. Like, we were teaching her all these sign language words, and she knew. It was so incredibly amazing. Yeah. All right. So, folks, I've got some details here on the Cayman Airways situation. We've just posted this on our page, and we're trying to get more additional information on this. So unfortunately, Cayman Airways is having some delays with the New York flight from yesterday. And I can tell you that somebody was calling me like early in the morning. And I had no idea why they were calling me. It was quite late. And I went to bed, not early, but I was already in bed when they were calling. And now I see why they were blowing up my phone. I think it was like after midnight. And I was like, who on earth is calling me? Who died? Because that's the only time you call me after midnight. 1:12 a.m. actually. They were calling me because they were not happy. So we have a video here. Let's have a quick look at the video. I haven't pre-watched it, but I don't think. Hopefully there's no curse or anything in the video, but we're not on radio, so we're good. So let's just have a look. All right, so that's just an airport video there, folks, of Cayman Airways flight delay. So let me tell you what we have from these individuals. And like I said, we are looking into this actively as we speak. By the way, not for nothing, but Cayman Airways has a sale on right now. But these things happen. But I think communicating with people is where it becomes really, really important. So again, this person was blowing up my phone at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I can tell you, I was in snooze world. I was sleeping. And I'm going to tell you something I did last night that really improved my sleep Oh my goodness, I was in a good sleep last night. All right, so let's have a look at this. This person says, I know it's small. Hold on. It says, good morning. I'm a passenger on Cayman Airways, boarded for Cayman yesterday at 11:45 a.m. Oh, this started early in the day. And as sorry, 11:45 a.m. And as of 1:22 a.m. Tuesday morning, I'm still at JFK Airport. What? I'm writing to express extreme disappointment with the appalling service and treatment we're experiencing right now at JFK Airport. We have been treated like a yo-yo on a string. We have a flight schedule to leave today at 11:45 p.m., but have been stuck at JFK Airport since 8 a.m. Wait a minute. So we booked a flight scheduled to leave today at 11:45 p.m. So why would you be there from 8 a.m.? I'm a little bit confused by this. Hold on. Okay, let me just try to clarify something here, because why would you go to the airport at 8 o'clock for a 11:45 p.m. flight? All right, let me just clarify, because I am confused by that. Then it says, we originally boarded only to be taken off due to technical issues with promises of a 2 p.m. departure. This was repeatedly pushed back until 9:30 p.m. and then 10 p.m. We were finally boarded around 11 p.m. only to sit on the tarmac taxiway for nearly 2 hours until 1:19 a.m. while staff attempted to fix a light issue. 5 minutes ago at 1:19 a.m., we were told to board the plane once again. To make matters worse, we are now stranded at JFK Airport at 1:20 a.m. with no food, no hotel accommodation provided, and threats that leaving means forfeiting refunds. Passengers, including families traveling with babies and multi-time loyal customers, are being met with terrible attitudes from staff when asking basic questions. This situation is completely unacceptable and handled unprofessionally. We expect immediate assistance, clear communication, and full resolution regarding our accommodation and refunds. Now they're saying that the flight is canceled. And she sent me this after 1 o'clock last night. Wow. All right, so I am asking some questions. Of course, this is no bueno, and I'm trying to see what more we can find out in terms of what is going on here. We did get another message from another person. Let me just grab this one. Hold on one second. Yeah, these people are messaging me way into the night, honey child, and I was sleeping. So all I could tell you is I woke up to these messages. So let me just grab this other one as well. So, we understand that things happen, but it comes down to the clear communication. And I agree absolutely there that it sounds like perhaps there was not clear communication. And who in Miami, not Miami, New York, is that another agency situation? Do we have, people on the ground there that actually work for Cayman Airways, or is this another agent that is providing services? Because I kind of feel like Cayman Airways probably needs to take a lot of this stuff in-house so that they can better handle it. You know what I mean? Yay, what a hot tamale. Okay, so this one says, hey, please report on Cayman Airways flight 793 was scheduled for 11:45 a.m. yesterday. Okay, so now we're getting some clarification of times. The 3rd of August from JFK on the runway. They announced a light was broken and we have to deplane. At 2 p.m., they said they're sending a new plane from Cayman, and the new flight was at 9:30 p.m., which got delayed until 11 p.m. We boarded at midnight, got on the runway. The de-icing button doesn't work. We go back to gate. De-icing. What is the de-icing button? Because there's no ice in the middle of August on a plane, right? So what's the de-icing button? I don't know what the de-icing button is. All right, so we go back to the gate. They try to fix it for 90 minutes. AC doesn't work whilst engines are off. Everyone's screaming to get off because it's so hot. We get off and wait at the gate, and they confirm it's not canceled. They're fixing it. 1 hour later, it's canceled at 2 a.m., and staff are unable to book transport or hotels for 200 people, and everyone is advised to contact Cayman Airways reservations who are closed. We still have no update from Cayman Airways, and it's been 20 hours since their original departure. No update on the website and where to go. Ooh, yikes. Oh my God. So there is a ground handler company in New York, I'm told, that handles this for Cayman Airways. So this is not good at all. I absolutely agree with that. So we understand that the flight should be leaving now this afternoon. This is not good. Let's see what we can do in terms of getting a statement from Cayman Airways. What I will say is not in defense of them, but just as an explanation. When you do have these longer flights, I mean, you can't, it's not like Miami where you can have a backup plane there in an hour, right? Obviously, New York is a much farther distance. So in order to get another Cayman Airways plane there, it's going to take some time. And then to have another plane come in, it sounds like the other plane also had issues. Obviously, that's not good. So we'll see what more we can find out. We have posted these things on social media because, listen, we're all about transparency here. No one can ever accuse us of, not being transparent. You guys know how much we love Cayman Airways, but sometimes things happen and they get things wrong. I think what they needed to do, and, nobody likes to call it early, but I think you've got to recognize when you have a situation on your hands that is not going to play out how you think it's going to play out, and then you have plan B to activate immediately. Because unfortunately, finding hotel accommodations for 200 people under any circumstances is not going to be easy, okay? As a last minute reservation. You wait until it's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it has just become infinitely more difficult for that to happen versus, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or even 7 p.m. in the evening. So I think one of the mistakes here that appears to be quite obvious to me is someone should have called it early and said from earlier in the evening, okay, we've got a problem. We need to start calling around hotels in the area to see who can accommodate what we can do in terms of transportation and so forth, because the logistics of dealing with that many people is difficult and challenging at best. So someone said it was not 200 people, just got back. Oh, are you hearing me in the car? KX planes only hold 160 passengers, not 200. Okay. I mean, all right. Well, I guess from the perspective of passengers, whether it's 200 or 160, they probably don't really care that much. But again, to their point, even dealing with 160 passengers to book accommodations for them is challenging at best. Yeah. Okay. We'll see what we'll see what more we can find out. So, yes, no bueno. Okay. Okay. All right. So we will seek to ascertain what's going on. Someone says, let's just say that there's a conflict of interest as the ground handler is also the owner of the company. The ground handler is also the owner of the company. Somebody named Jose and Lily, and their son and daughter work there also. Okay. But I mean, they work for Cayman Airways, right? It's a contracted situation. So, yeah. So I think that we need to obviously, well, we're not going to be doing that route anymore. But after this, if I was Cayman Airways, we would be terminating their contract because I don't think that they handled this situation properly at all. I need chill. So Cayman Airways still flies to New York. Yeah, they're stopping. And I was thinking about this. I think this may be the last month, Anthony, because I did see someone post something just a couple days ago, ironically, about this. And I was thinking, oh, when does that flight finally stop? But yes, I think that when they have, even the California flight, if you're flying for 3, 4, 5 hours or whatever, I can't remember what the California flight is. I think you've got to have kind of contingency plans in place, and you should have a policy. Like, this shouldn't be up to your ground handlers to keep, trying. And listen, first of all, we know that in the US, the FCC, what's the flight one called? Is that, no, the FCC is broadcasting, right? What's the one for planes? Like, they passed the FAA something. They have passed some new regulations where if you have people sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours or more, you're going to be running into some serious problems, because now they force you to make certain types of accommodations for passengers. And so, you run the risk of having to pay hefty fines and so forth with these types of delays and compensation. John says, I'm a frequent flyer, and to be honest, airlines really don't give a shit about you, whatever your status might be in life or with their airline. I think generally speaking, I agree with that, John. And I think, a lot of airlines are trying to just get you from point A to point B as quickly as possible, as cheap as possible. And customer service is not one of their strong points. I honestly have to say that my experience with Cayman Airways over the years has been different, but it also does depend on where you're flying in and out of and who the ground handling team actually is. So, for example, there have been times when, if it was not for Maryland in Miami, I would have pulled out my hair with some of those Miami people. Now, because I do travel to Miami so often, after a while, they really got to know me, and they kind of knew, John, that I wasn't the one, right? That I was going to elevate the complaint to the appropriate person. So I think they kind of were providing a bit more service, but I agree with you that they really were not the best. Speaking of which, there was a young lady there who, let me just see, who actually, she left. I actually took a picture with her. I was going to post it, that she was leaving. Let me just see. I'm trying to remember her name now. She was leaving after a number of years. Oh, yes. This was when I was in Miami in May. I have to, young lady, those were not for you to open. No. That was supposed to be for your birthday. Didn't you see it wrapped in birthday gift wrap? Okay, don't open any more packages. Put them on the desk. You were not instructed to open anything this morning. Right over there. Kids. Oh my goodness. Strong Wilt reminds us that you're supposed to be at the airport 3 hours before check-in. Thank you so much. Lucky Body says, I'll be taking JetBlue if I ever need to visit. Well, you're not going to have a choice because Cayman Airways is no longer going to be flying to New York in any event. Anthony says 200 must have the best New York flight they ever had. There's always maximum 40% full when I went. Yes, thank you, John, the FAA. So, they're going to be flying till October, says Lavana. Oh, I thought it was ending sooner than that. So October 19th. Well, we still have a couple months. So, they need to talk to these handlers because, again, I think the call should have been made to try to deal with that flight and the passengers before it became kind of a critical hour. It's happened with me before where I've been stuck on a plane on the tarmac and they have to turn it off. You get hot, you get uncomfortable, and it really isn't cool. But, when you travel, I think that you need to also know that sometimes you have to expect delays. A lot of things have a knock-on effect in terms of what causes these delays. And so they don't always leave on time, but this is an exorbitant delay. So yeah, child, that's Gigi opening up my Amazon packages, honey child. I gotta talk to her about that. That's because she's expecting something for herself. But I actually ordered stuff for her birthday. Thank God I told Amazon to wrap it, although they didn't wrap that one. So what a hot mess. Yeah. So yeah. All right, so we will get morning, Johan. We'll try to get as much information as we can out of Cayman Airways on that one. Like I said, if you're interested, they are actually having an anniversary sale right now, by the way. Their anniversary sale has kicked off. So while we're on Cayman Airways, perhaps this is as good an opportunity as any to talk about their anniversary sale and what they have coming up. So do remember that the anniversary sales do not include taxes. So of course, by the time that they tag those on, that'll be your final price. And it is for a restricted travel as well. So I had a cousin who they're like, oh, anniversary sale. So you mean the flights that we just booked yesterday, we can cancel? And I'm like, no, because those are not going to be, the travel dates are actually going to be, one second here, let me see. The travel dates are actually going to be a little bit later, starting in September. Let me just see if I can find all the details on this for you guys. But yes, we will certainly be looking into this a bit further for you. All right. All right, thank you so much. Now the FAA states that after 3 hours, you're supposed to offer another route or a refund. The ground handler should have given food vouchers and offered rebooking and or hotels. So there you go. Kind of crazy. You have to call in WhatsApp. I said that earlier in the program because we are remotely doing the show. So only WhatsApp. Because I don't even turn on, what is so funny is it didn't occur to me yesterday, in fact, that that particular phone was still on. And so I think Jonathan called. So, and boy, Jonathan can be long-winded. So I can tell you, we have an 8-minute call to pay for that was not on roaming until we get that bill from Cayman Air, from Flow. So yep, try 9362626, but only on the WhatsApp line. All right, we will like I said, I'll try to see what more we can find out in terms of details for you. Yeah. Okay. All right, we got a call coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, sorry, hold on one second. They're saying that they can't actually hear you, which is interesting. Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna just put you on speakerphone because I know. Yeah, try again. Try again, Lavana. Let me know. Yeah, I guess they couldn't hear you the entire time, but anyway, they can let me know if they can hear you. Oops, if they can hear you now. It's a little bit challenging with the remote setup. Some things just are not operating as they should. But but basically, folks, what she's saying, just to stress, well, I not, yeah, well, I don't know if they can hear you now. Um, yeah, strange. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If people do not turn other airlines, they will really learn to appreciate Kimberly's. The baggage fees are even more than the seats. A regular economy seat on Delta, yesterday was $39 per person. I just saying I have to see. I wasn't sure what kind of seat it was going. I didn't pay for it. We just took our seats that we bought. I was just looking at different things. But yeah, we were there, and like I said, we were getting into that crucial last. I think if we had to stay another half hour, they would have probably have to come back or go back or something, because yeah, they have a window to work with, I believe.
Okay. And that was with Delta that you were traveling yesterday?
That was Delta, yeah. We're going from Atlanta to Tampa.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much. Yes, we appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, folks. Yeah, I had to put her in speakerphone. I'm not sure. I mean, it was plugged into the board and I could hear it, but then it occurred to me that you guys, based on your comments, couldn't hear it. So we definitely need to do some board work here with setting up when we're remotely. And in fact, yesterday I discovered that there is an issue with my board. So this board has to go back to the manufacturer. So that's why I'm not even going to play around with it too much in terms of setting, because they're probably going to have to send me a whole new board. So let me just say here that we do have some information now that I can share with you guys. Did I see someone brushing their teeth this morning? Okay. Just a question, just in case any almost 10-year-olds are listening, that they must remember they have to floss and brush their teeth properly in the morning, because mom is actually working and being forced to multitask at the same time by keeping an eye on someone who's almost 10. And I have to wonder if they put that face wash thing on their face that they're supposed to put on.
I did put the face washing on.
Okay.
Could you just stop stressing me out? Please?
I'm stressing you out. Okay. Someone said the mechanical issue can be understood, but the customer service is not good. Passengers from New York are supposed to travel to Cayman at 1 p.m. today. That's them being rescheduled. And most of what was in that message is unfortunately accurate. So the passengers are more or less correct. Our customer care team is on it this morning addressing compensation and refunds, but the impact of having two planes break at the same time. Miss Gigi, Gianna, come back, because you need to go brush your teeth properly. Two planes break on the same route. We've had a severe impact on our JFK service. Thankfully, no other flights are affected. So two planes. And Miss, give me a moment, folks, while I have a mommy chat with someone. Please also put on your deodorant.
I did.
Okay. All right. Brush your teeth properly. Okay. Floss. The flosser's over there. Okay, folks. We got to make sure people are brushing teeth and stuff properly. You guys know how it is. Evelyn says, stop stressing out, Gigi. Stress. She don't know stress yet. Yesterday, she said she never wants to grow up, so she doesn't have to worry about bills or getting a phone or anything else. I was like, oh, you're lucky. Good morning. Oh, Mira says, laughing out, Sandy, stop stressing out the child. You can imagine stress to do what you know you're supposed to do in the morning. Ooh, honey, child. She wouldn't know stress. What a good life. Morning, Miss Lucille. So good to see you. So the flight is supposed to leave today, but it looks like they're going to have to compensate them, which I think is the right thing to do. It's unfortunate that these things happen. And as Lavana rightfully said, in terms of, she was explaining that they were in Delta just yesterday trying to get back to Cayman. And they were going from Delta to Tampa, and then from Tampa to Cayman and Cayman Airways. Tampa weather, whoo, honey child, Tampa weather be crazy. So it happens if there's storms or anything in the area that can certainly impact the, you can't do anything about weather. And unfortunately, planes do break down and so on. But, yeah. And to have 2 planes, these are brand new planes. What's going on? With different issues. I mean, I'm a little bit like, what on earth? No charge, free incoming roaming calls in the USA and the Caribbean. Oh, really? But do I have to turn it on, Ray? Do I have to tell you guys I'm roaming? Because that's what I didn't do. So free incoming calls in the USA and Caribbean. How come Flo never told me that? But do I have to turn it on? First of all, let me ask if I have to turn it on before I turn it on. Because in that case, I'm going to leave my phone on. Oh. So if I don't have to activate it, oh, hey, child, I'll be leaving that on. And yeah. Mm-hmm. So Strong Will says it's still very, very frustrating. Absolutely. Anthony says, with all that drama, Sandy, they owe us a chance to win a ticket listening to the JFK drama. So wait, you're going to win a ticket and then the poor passengers who were going through it are not? I think they'll have to issue them refunds at this point. It's sad. And I know that particular route, obviously, Cayman Airways has made the financial decision to discontinue it. And it is, I assure you 1,000%, it is a financial decision. It's automatic? What? Flo, y'all, your marketing department has a lot of work to do. How is it that I never knew? Child, I'm taking my phone off of airplane mode right now. So I take it back. You can call on the regular line. I did not know this. How y'all gonna tell me the incoming calls are free? What, honey child? That's big news. That is big news. I don't know about Flo. Y'all be doing the most. Only God knows. All right, so I have no idea why you couldn't hear her through the board because I was hearing her, which is kind of weird. It is on a virtual line. I'm trying to remember how to move. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can figure something out while we're talking here. Outputs, monitoring, routing. No, not monitoring. Where do I find the faders again? Oh, Lord. Routing, no. Bluetooth, routing, USB, mix minus. Oh, Lord. Outputs, display, metering. No. Oh, Lord. These boards are more complicated than you realize. But there is a way to switch them around. I feel like I feel like it's supposed to be in 1 and not 2. I think that's what's going on here. Hold on one second. Let me just check something. Turn off your roaming data. Okay, hold on now. Because when I get a roaming bill, I'm going to be sending it to you. So I go into, where is it? Is it general? No. It's cellular. Where's cellular? Cellular. So we have mobile service. Yes, there we go. And then we have that number, and we're going to turn off data roaming. So did you say turn off data roaming? Yeah, it's not on. So that's good. Okay, so that's off. So I can do it with the other phone. Wait a minute, honey child. Don't make me get no bill now, Ronaldo, because I'm not paying it. So I have my US phone on this one anyway. But yeah, because sometimes people still do call me. And so I guess if I could leave it on, that would be good. Let me see here now. Cellular. I just realized these phones have a slightly different wording because I think that's an older model there. All right, cellular. So I can turn on flow at the same time as my other one. This is good. Turn on this line. Ooh, all of a sudden I start getting messages as I turn that on. Ping, 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 pong. All right, so turn off cellular roaming. Okay, that one was on. Let me hurry up and turn that off, honey. Chill. Okay, so data roaming is off. Okay.
What's this thing?
I'm doing my show. I'll talk to you in about 15 minutes. All right, go drink some water. Water's good for you first thing in the morning. Have a glass of water. And some math homework. Come and hand me that iPad, please.
Mom, you almost made me fall down the stairs.
You almost fell down the stairs? Oh my God, don't do that.
But it's because you called my name. I thought I was gonna
Thank
die
you.
if I walked down the stairs.
Take your books instead of the iPad.
Mom, I was doing something.
Miss. How come you got busy all of a sudden doing something else when it came time to take that book and not the iPad? Oh, these kids.
Mom, I was gonna. Never mind.
Math. You see how important math is?
No.
Yesterday, if you couldn't add the tip, we wouldn't be able to leave the restaurant. We'd still be there.
What restaurant?
Where we went for dinner.
That was lunch. Mom.
Well, it was the only meal I had yesterday, so it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Strong will. Y'all need to know that these kids, you gotta stay on top of them like white on rice. Let me tell you. They say nagging mothers are the best thing the daughters can have in life. Where's your pencil, Gigi?
I'm reading a book.
No, I want you to take and do your math pages from now. So there's a math book called One a Day or something, and every day you have to do some.
I don't see the one a day. One a day? Oh, it's 20.
The one that you started, you can't find it?
Oh, it's probably in the main case. But then I don't know where my pencil is.
I saw a pencil on the counter downstairs. This is where the excuses start. I can't find my pencil. I can't do that.
Actually, I don't know where my pencil is.
There's a pencil on the counter. I saw it last night. Now she got her complaining. She can't find her pencil, so she can't do her math work. And then she can't do this. Did Cal ever give an update in the aircraft that has been parked from March awaiting engine replacement? Oh, say what? Where is this airplane? Oh, you know what, Anthony? Somebody kind of mentioned that to me, but this is one of the 787s? Oh, what? Flo would need to send that to me in writing. I don't trust them, says Carib Guy. Oh, don't worry. We got it in writing right here from El Rey. Annette says, good morning, Miss Sandy and viewers. Just checking in. What's the topic today? Well, we were talking about Cayman Airways and the JFK flight, which had some delays. And I was actually going to remind you guys that there is a 58th anniversary celebration right now. So big shout out to Cayman Airways, who is celebrating 58 years of service. Can you guys believe it? My God, that's a long time. That's better than me. So so they do have the 50th anniversary sale. Airfares are on now for travel for this fall to some of your favorite destinations, including Miami, Tampa, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, and Panama. No New York, sorry. And then flights to and from the sister islands are also on sale. This is a limited time only, and you have to book by August the 8th, which is coming up here in just a few days. That requires me planning my life. All right, I'm going to plan a few trips, though, for real. So you've got to book before, or you've got up until Saturday to book by, and you can call Cayman Airways reservation 949-2311. You can also book with their mobile app, which I did not even know that Cayman Airways had a mobile app, but there you go. Or you can also contact a travel agent because they obviously get the sales pricing as well. Or you can book online at CaymanAirways.com. Notice no New York flight because they're telling you New York is done with in any event. Yes, and big shout out to Cayman Airways. They're still an award-winning, uniquely Caymanian airline. They're going to sort out the passengers for this situation this morning for Miami. Thank you, Anthony. I'm going to check into that right now. Honey chow. You know, we like some good sauce, and especially when it comes to Cayman Airways. You know, if a plane is down for engine replacement, that's a big deal. Repair or replacement? What did you just say? Hold on. Replacement. Why are those planes needing a replacement of an engine already? Marika says, you be careful with that roaming, Auntie. Hello, you don't know. Like I said, when I get the bill, I'm going to be like, Ronaldo told me. This person says, Andy, the sound was too low. I think for that phone call. Hello, Gigi, obey your mom or no birthday gifts. You better believe it. The birthday will be canceled. Do you want me to call back or they heard enough? I think we got the gist of it there. Thank you so much. Those planes are new to Cal, but they're not new airlines. That's not true. Wait. Back it up. Remember now, we replaced our entire fleet pretty much, not the smaller planes, obviously, but we replaced our entire fleet as far as I know. I'm sure of this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we replaced our entire fleet with the 787-8, and that just happened a couple of years ago. Well, I guess a couple of years now might be what, 5-6 years? But I didn't think engines would need to be replaced in 5 or 6 years. When did the MAX 8s come out? No, we've replaced, I think we've got 4 or 5 of them now. How many of them? Hold on, let me try and confirm. But as far as I know, we don't have any of those older planes anymore. I don't think so. I think they're all brand new. I'm saying 787. No, it's 737-8, which was basically the MAX 8, but they kind of the airline industry rebranded and renamed them after their initial issues with Boeing. So hot mess. Buenos dias, Miss Alba. That's what you get from me leaving Marlon at home. Gigi tricking you, says Strongwill. I know, poor Marlon. He's working away. They should think about doing a direct flight to Toronto. How long is the Canada flight? And what's the load? Like, listen, right now, gas prices being what they are, fuel being what it is, it's pretty expensive. And so I don't know that these long haul flights, unless you can guarantee a profit, really make any sense at this particular time. So I think that's definitely one of the things that they look at for sure. Anthony says, I dislike booking sale tickets. There's no room for changes. I prefer to book when I need to travel instead of confined to travel dates. Yeah, it does require you, my apologies, to kind of book in it. So you kind of have to know, right? Those are brand new jets. That's what I thought, Carib guy. I thought so. Brand new from the factory that came out. That's right. Because remember, that was the whole big deal. We were the first company in the Caribbean to actually get a 737-8, aka MAX 8. And so that was, I remember going on the plane, one of the first people allowed on it, I guess, other than the staff and whatever. And it was such a beautiful plane. I mean, really, really nice. And yeah, so that was a big selling point for us, that we were the first in the region to even have one of those MAX 8s. And El Rey says, yes, those are all brand new planes. They literally came from Boeing, and Boeing delivered it. I don't know how do you officially deliver a plane? I guess they just flew it to us. I don't know. But listen, those planes cost us a lot of money. In the words of Donald Trump, that was a lot of money. Okay. Yes, they ain't cheap. And yes, we have 4. I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5. Toronto is about 3:45 for most flights, almost 4 hours. I mean, the MAX 8s can do it. It's not a question of whether or not the plane is capable. I think it's a question of whether or not it makes economic sense. So Cayman to Toronto is 4 hours direct, so close to New York. Thank you so much. Barbara says, I'm dying for a direct flight from Cayman Airways to Toronto. Toronto is only a skip away from New York, and I am definitely not going to the USA for a long time, waiting for the end of Trump's term. So you go to Toronto? Other than that mad Jamaican guy, what is there in Toronto to do? I'm curious. Canada, they're very liberal. We need to give AC and WJ some competition. Who and what is AC and WJ? John, usually about 4 hours, but we have WestJet. WestJet is WJ. Okay, figured that out. And who is AC? Air Canada. There you go. Question asked and answered. Maybe direct to another Caribbean location. I think the problem though, John and Gabby, is when Cayman Airways goes to a destination where there is already like an existing route. Remember now, Cayman Airways, actually, this was something that Ralston said the other day, right, about the importance of Cayman Airways. And I need to get some more shorts from that video because Ralston's video was so impactful. I haven't played the full thing outside of the show, but I'm going to, because one of the things he actually explained about Cayman Airways, the benefit of having our own national airline, is they are the ones who then set the pricing even for other carriers. Apparently, they can only go like so much above or beyond or whatever. So Cayman Airways, because they are the national flag carrier, they set the ceiling. This is how I understand it. They set the ceiling for pricing. So if Cayman Airways were to disappear, which we hope never happens, these airlines can charge whatever they want. And he actually gave an example. I forget which airline he mentioned that happened in the Caribbean. I can't remember if it was American or who. I'll grab the clip and play it though. And so he was saying that this is one of the other things that people don't realize is really, really important about keeping Cayman Airways, in the air as a company, because honey chow, we keep those prices lower than they would be if we didn't have the national airline, because then there's no local competition at all. But I do wonder, because we already have 2 other airlines flying that route, if that makes sense, because then you're splitting the because people have choices, obviously. And I tell you what, for us as Caymanians, it makes sense. Cayman Airways, with the baggage fees, are still cheaper than everybody else. You still get more weight to carry and all this stuff. It makes sense for us. But some people, I see people coming from New York with a little carry-on, and I'm just like, you have a closet in Cayman that you're traveling to? Because I don't know how you're traveling with no luggage. But Caymanians, we travel heavy. No pun intended, but yes, we travel heavy. Anthony says all those that book those sale tickets drive up the prices for regular people wanting to travel. Well, don't forget too, Cayman Airways has a very good frequent flyer program. That's how I just got my tickets. I didn't pay any ticket. Well, you pay the taxes, $100-something. But Gigi and I both had over 20,000 miles. So I was like, ooh, honey, child, use those for summer travel. John says most of Cayman Airways' flights don't make economic sense. Laughing out loud, Barbados and LA. Caramba. I would not ever fly WestJet again. I did that the other day and booked a one-way flight home on Air Canada. Ooh, why? Was it that bad? Cayman Coco says to visit family and friends in Toronto and Canada. Okay. Ms. Barbara says, I wish they'd start back the Boston route. They do some seasonal ones, I guess, depending on demand. Cece says we need special local tickets for $100, please and thanks. We need special local tickets. Like, you mean to Cayman Brac? What do you mean by local? Lots to do in Toronto, and one can even take a tour to Niagara Falls, Canadian side, of course. Anita's like, not the American side. All right, very, very good. So let's talk about yesterday and this tornado before we end the program today. OMG. So it started out as a water spout. We only call it that because it's over the water. You do know that it's the same thing, right? But honey child, can I tell you, when that thing touched down and hit land, did everybody see this? I am shocked. To be quite frank and honest, hold on one second. Let me grab a few of the videos. So one lady, she's a regular listener to the program. She said her daughter was there, and her daughter was so upset by what happened. She was just like, OMG. Hi, ma'am. You finished your math already? Bring the book for me. I'm going to have to check that out. This sounds suspicious. And I better see it from today's date, honey child.
What is today?
You don't even know the date today, but you claim you finished it?
But what's today's date, Mom?
It's the 4th. But I thought, I gotta see what kind of bamboozling this child trying to do to me with this math today, you know. Bring it to me. Let me look it over. She has to do a little work every single day. And don't be telling me about it's summer break. The brain drain that they have during the summer is ridiculous. So I'm told that one with the engine issues back in service. So Anthony, to answer your question, apparently that one is back in service. Oh, Miss Barbara's husband is Canadian family over there. Oh, okay, that's nice. This person says, babe, use Airlo way better. You know what? I will use Airlo when I do like my European travel and stuff like that. They have a lot of amazing destinations. But I actually keep a permanent US number on my phone. And I pay every month. Marla and I pay a family plan. And I can spend it for like, if I'm not traveling for a while, I can suspend it for up to periods of like a month or whatever. But it makes sense for me because I am in and out of the US quite frequently. Sometimes it's just for a weekend trip. But when I come to the US, because I need a lot of data, I can't have any restrictions on like, oh, you can only get, 5 whatever of data. I'm like, no, I need unlimited data. Like that's my work. I got to be online. So what I tend to do is I just keep a US number on my phone. It is a permanent number. It is a monthly plan that I pay for. They actually have it we can pay for the year too. And this one is with Ultra Mobile. And so, yeah, I just keep it. My number's the same. So when I'm here, I can receive calls, I can get text messages. So I just do that. And that works out for me because then I don't have to think about it. Like literally the second I land, okay, we got an update from someone with this flight. The second I land, it just turns on itself automatically. And so that's what I do on my primary phone. But now that I know I can receive calls for free, then I love that. All right, so Cayman Airways passengers, this is them this morning saying they're still here. That's a real-time video just being received from the airport. And, listen, nobody likes delays. I appreciate that these things happen, but I got to tell you the truth. At this point, I would be miserable myself because, I need a bath. After a whole 24 hours now, I'd be like, okay, I need to have a shower. I need to brush my teeth. And sometimes when we do these shorter hauls, like when I do my longer 10, 12 hours, right? Of course, I'm packing everything in my little carry-on toiletry bag. But this is a good reminder that, always carry a little toiletry kit in your bag. Carry a little carry-on. Have your little toothpaste, your little miniature one, your little deodorant, your little, So if you need to have a refresh, you need to wash your face, they have a little travel size. Go to Walmart, honey child, or Amazon. They have all of the travel size stuff. There's a lot to do in Toronto. Ooh, sounds like I need a Toronto trip in my life. Hello. My grandmother always used to take me to Marineland to see the killer whales, but now I'm an adult. I think it's just cruel having these animals in captivity. They also have other animals and rides, but there's also Canada's Wonderland where you can go roller coasters, kind of like Six Flags. Okay, I'm done with roller coasters, honey child. I'm too old for that. We ain't doing that no more. I went on one in February. When were we here for? So we went to the Florida, or was it May? Hold on. We went to the Florida State Fair in Tampa. And let me tell y'all something. No, sir. I was never a big roller coaster person, but we all been on them. Let me see. Florida State Fair. Florida. When was this? Oh, yeah. So we did that in February. Yes, we did. And so I went on one ride, and geez, peace. I underestimated that ride. Never again. That ride, it didn't look that bad. So it wasn't like one of the big roller coasters. It was actually a smaller ride, but it was going around in circles and then doing this. And I got off, and I literally felt like I was going to throw up. It's a good thing I didn't really have anything to eat, because I think I would have barfed. And I was like, oh my God. And it's like, the thing is throwing you this way and throwing you this way. And I was in a little thing by myself because Gigi was on the ride. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go. And I'm lucky my phone didn't go flying off the ride. And no, sir. Okay. So yes, Annette, let's talk about this bizarre storm. At first, I wasn't sure either. I was like, that's Cayman? Honey, child, look at this. I thought it wasn't real. Oh my God. Look at the chairs. Did you jump in the pool? All right. I mean, those poor people, they're between laughing and crying and just probably shocked. But did that woman actually jump in the pool? Oh my God. Okay. So my thoughts are, this is so scary. One person said that their daughter was there. My granddaughter had to stay underwater until it passed because everything was flying around the pool area. And, they were in shock, and the whole thing was really, really scary. Wow. Yeah, that's wild. That is next level wild. And I would have been scared to death. Because you don't even expect it. Like, it happens so quickly. It's not like this is a hurricane. Here's another angle where you get any notice, right? Look at this. Lord have mercy. Look at the stuff that was just pulling it up and throwing all those chairs around. Those chairs are not, oh my God. You get hit in the head by one of those, that's gotta hurt. Wow. Oh my God. I am sorry, but that's wild. Yeah, that is wild. No, sir. So, Gareth says that there's actually still some slight differences between a waterspout and a tornado. They're both destructive and are funnel clouds, but there's still some slight differences, such as waterspouts tend to be weaker. Woo, honey child. Well, thank God for that. Yeah. Well, this is crazy. How long did it last? Like, the weird thing is, I actually haven't heard anything from the Weather Service on this. Did I miss a memo? because I didn't hear anything about this. You know, thankfully nobody was seriously injured, but people could have been. I mean, look at this. What? That was kicking up some serious. Wow. Oh my gosh. That ocean. This looked like when we have a hurricane, and it was just throwing around those lawn chairs like they were nothing. Oh my gosh. I swear that woman jumped in the pool. I wouldn't blame her if she did. So people were actually getting out of the pool. If I was them, I would have stayed in the pool. Because see that woman holding a little kid right there? I kind of think your chances might have been better just staying in the pool. But we are happy to report that thankfully nobody was injured. And it's just, you know, one of those things that can happen. Came right off the water. Somebody else sent me some footage yesterday where they saw it from a distance. And Barbara says, I saw a tornado in Prospect years ago that picked up a car, took off a roof, and did major damage around the area. I was terrified, but thank God it stopped short quickly and no one was hurt. So these events, you know, somebody says a lawn chair in the face will wreck your day. My God, yeah, for sure. Whoever asked what it is to do in Canada. Okay, that's me. We'll get to that. I'll take a trip and y'all can show me what Canada's got going on. Soka says, I'm trying to figure out why they're laughing. I think some people laugh because they're nervous and scared at the same time, and they don't know what to make of it. Like, I'm not sure. So, Miss Marjorie, this happened yesterday afternoon, right after, hold on. Let me tell you roughly what time it was, because I started getting messages. I was like, what the heck is this? So it happened after 6 in the evening. I got a message at 6:38. It says the Grand Cayman Resort had a water spout hit the pool. Guests are running from the area. Said lounge chairs, coconuts, and other debris almost hit them. Soon send some videos. So we got videos and we got footage of it, and not for nothing, but let me just say this. It did do some damage. There were pieces of wood splintered all over the place. And so, yeah, this is crazy. So I'm going to reach out to weather service people because I don't think they've said anything about this, but look at this. You know, I mean, wood splintering, and the little cabanas falling over is something that could have been quite serious and could have injured people. So yeah, wow, this is crazy. Here's another image of some of the damage. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Oh, this is the one. Yeah, so this is some of the damage that was caused. So yeah, this is, you know, it did cause some damage. And so I'm trying to reach out to them today to see if we can get some details on this, but wild, wild, wild. This is the thing with these things, is they come with little to no notice. And unfortunately, I think if you're there in the pool having a good time, you're not necessarily looking up to even notice one of these things happening, right? So, yeah, somebody actually sent me a distant photo of it, and they were like, oh my God, there was a water spout out there today. And we've seen them come into town before. So thankfully, again, I've not heard of any serious injuries or reports. And so we have to certainly be thankful for that. But this was crazy. Yeah. And they happen. I'm going to show you this image. Hold on one second. This is someone who actually did send it to me. And like I said, happens pretty much with little to no notice whatsoever. And I don't think that we've ever had any instructions on what to do with a water spout, except to get out of its way, I guess. But that's certainly not always easy. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see if we can get some official details on it. And then we'll certainly let We'll do a little story and post something up. But yeah, again, I'm going to reach out to hazard management, because what's the advice when you see this thing coming for you? Except to run, I guess. I don't know what else you're going to do. Run and get out of the way. So someone caught it. If you have any pictures, I don't know if anybody else was able to grab any images of it, but if you did get some pictures of it, please let me know. But here's one that someone sent us. You could see it starting to form, right? And this is what happens. The cloud and the weather is just, the atmosphere is just right. And then all of a sudden you see that little spinning, twirling thing starting to organize itself. And next thing you know, it's touching down. Now, if it's out in the water, less likely to do damage. Yeah. All right. Sandy, I went through a tornado in Prospect years ago. It sucked the nails out of my roof. What? They were dropping on my driveway like jingle bells. I had over $40,000 in damage. It didn't last too long. OMG. Wow. We got to talk about insurance, Because Amelia, $40,000 in damage. You guys do realize that when you have house insurance, I'm thinking about this now, because I need to figure out whether or not it makes, if you no longer have a mortgage, to keep your house insurance, because of course you want it if there's a catastrophic event. But the chances of having a catastrophic event are relatively slim. The logic is you could save that money every single month, because literally you're paying thousands, 2,000 or 3,000, depending on the value of your house, or even more. You're spending thousands of dollars, right? But it is an important asset to try to protect. So the question is, do you keep, and I want us to have this discussion another day because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you keep your house insurance when you no longer have a mortgage in the house? How many of you have let it go and are happy with that decision? The other question I have is, all of them come with a sizable deductible. So some good points here to make is that, Amelia, that was $40,000 worth of damage. Did your insurance company cover that? Or did it make any sense to even make the claim? Because depending on the value of your house, the deductible sometimes can be even more than that. The deductible can be a sizable amount, and they only pick up after the deductible. So I don't know. It's crazy. Margie says it must have been from a tropical wave that was passing by, but I've never heard anything about from the weather service. Maybe we should let Brian know this. Oh, yes. I forgot about Brian. You know what is so funny, Marjorie? I actually thought about him I think it was yesterday or today. I thought about him because I'm like, this hurricane season, please knock on wood. Everybody collectively knock on wood and say a prayer all at the same time, because it has been so quiet this year. OMG. I'm just like, I don't know. It's been a little bit too quiet. Okay. I'm going to just stay positive. But it has been very, very quiet. And so I am wondering if that means that we're going to skate through this hurricane season without much to worry about. So he did cross my mind. And, you know what I was thinking about? For him, his show is, on weather, obviously focusing on the Caribbean. When we don't have much going on in weather, what does Brian talk about? I need to go and check out his Mr. Weatherman. I need to go check out his, I'm going to send him a quick email. Hi, Brian. Hold on. Hope that all is well with you and the family. Yes. Did you hear about this weather that we had yesterday? Should I just say weather / water spout? Yeah. Water spout yesterday in Grand Cayman. and then I'll send him the link so he can have a look. Ooh, honey, yeah, that was a hot mess. But yeah, so I think we're just really grateful that nobody was hurt. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. All right, so I'm going to just send him these. Maybe he can feature them on his show to talk about sometimes how unpredictable the weather can be. Now, if you're traveling to Florida, folks, and a lot of people obviously do Orlando during the summer, be careful because Tampa still remains and has always been the lightning capital of the world. So when you see weather starting to roll in, just be cautious and, don't take any chances with that. All right. So thank you, Strong Will. Tell us more of what you can do in Toronto. Frightening indeed, says Miss Dean. Okay, Gigi's bringing me her math. You were gone for so long, Gigi. I feel like you were doing it all this time you've been gone.
Doing what?
Doing your homework that you said you did earlier.
So, oh my gosh, 2 pages already fell out, Mom.
That's okay.
So, page 4. August 4. August 4. See, I did 4 pages.
We dropped our house insurance a few years ago. $35,000 a year. Forget it, says John Lou. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about it, John. It's wild. Because that's a lot of money. Like I said, if you have a catastrophic event, of course, then you're like, well, thank God we have it. But okay, bring it to me, please. I have to worry about health insurance now. This is crazy. You need to do a show on that. Speaking of that, John, there are some.
This is from August 1.
Okay, so these are the ones you did today for August the 4th. All right. Okay, so you can't get the iPad yet because you need to do some writing as well. I know. So the writing book is right there. Just do 1 or 2 writing assignments for me for today, please. You got lots to write about. You can write about your day yesterday, what you did. You went skating. All right, well, do what you can, and then I'm going to come to you.
So like 2 pages?
At least 2 pages.
Okay, I'm working on the main page.
All right. These kids don't like to do work, This is the book I was telling you guys about. 1 page a day, 2-digit multiplication practice. Get it off Amazon. And then I have another. These 1 page a day books are really, really good. They have different kinds. Like there's one where it's like you write every single day and it asks you different questions for the day to practice their writing and working through concepts and ideas. And like if you could do anything in the world, what would it be? And lots of fun questions. So I'm going to check over some of this math, make sure she's doing it correctly. All right. So another recommendation, but John, I was going to say that the ministry, who's calling me from Jamaica? Oh, hold on a second. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Hi.
Hi, Mom. So this is June Boothright. I've been texting you about the pension. So I'm currently in Jamaica right now. My medication is finished. So I called it Silver Touch yesterday. They said the pension is still in the pension department pending. Pending. How long this is gonna pen? I don't have no medication. What am I supposed? Is there somebody in there you could give me a number that I could probably speak with, please, Miss Sandra?
Remind me of who you had your pension with again?
Silver Touch. 3 months now from me. Yeah.
All right, let me, I'm just on the air with my show. So let me try to see if I can reach out to my contact there and see if they have any updates. Because as I believe when you initially made contact, I had sent them the information and they were supposed to look into it. So,
yes, Mom.
So let me see if I can follow up on that for you.
I'm sitting here in Jamaica writing my living. I'm not working. I'm not working. I have no money. I'm sick. I'm on medication down here. I'm depending on it because I don't know what to do, This morning I'm confused. I don't have water and there's a drought down here right now. My tank got damaged from the hurricane. It's covered with a tarpaulin. I can take a picture of it, send to you, miss. It's covered with a tarpaulin, so I don't have to be buying water.
This is definition, yes. Yeah. Oh my
I have to
gosh.
be like, I'm having it hard. I'm really having it hard down here. I'm a Caymanian, but I'm also a Jamaican. I am sick. This is the reason why I'm here in Jamaica. Cause I cannot afford medication in Cayman, and the herbal medication down here is what's keeping me. So I am so dependent on, right now I have 2 weeks from the time I've been here and it's finished because I have to keep it on the fridge. I don't know what else to do. I'm just drinking some herb to see if I can keep going. Because I have a thyroid issue and I have a goiter. I have arthritis and I have all kind of complaint. I can hardly walk. I need a stem cell in the knee and it's $2,500 in Cayman with Regenics and $600 consultation. Just imagine. I can't do it because I don't have the money. So after being here, hopping around the house. If it wasn't for the furniture in the house, I don't know how sometime I would move. I have to depend on them to hold on to move. And the history is in Georgetown Hospital.
Wow.
Last year, May. The history is in Georgetown. So I'm not lying. And I would have been lying. And I'm not working. Getting up this morning, I don't know where to turn, what to do. Please, if you can help me out, Miss Sandra. Please, I'm begging you. I didn't call you for you to this. I know you have contact, and this is why I depend on you, because I know you have contact and you can help. You can get through to people. I know that. Nothing else I know about you, but I know you can get through to people.
Yes, ma'am.
Not to disgrace, not to embarrass nobody, but I know you have contact that you can get through to them. I know you can do that. That is it about you. Is that about what you do over? You can get through to them.
I appreciate it.
Because I'm reaching out to you. Yes, man, I know you can do it. I'm reaching out to you because I know you can do it, Miss Sandra. If you can get them to help me out, please, and say, because they said kindly to me, said they are waiting on the pension department to give them the okay to send the money to me.
Yeah, I was just checking my messages. You had sent me some stuff before on the WhatsApp, right?
Yes, ma'am, I did send you on the Cayman phone WhatsApp, but this is the Jamaica number.
Oh, okay. So because I get so many messages, I'm going to be honest with you. Just message me again from the Cayman number now so that I can see your information and then try to follow up with what's going on with it. Because I was looking for this number. That's why I wasn't finding this number.
Oh, yes. I don't have WhatsApp on the Cayman number, so I'm using data on the Jamaican. So if you want me to take a picture on me, because right now I can only message you on the Cayman phone. If you want me to just send you a message so you can go back messages. Yes.
Because I just want to find the message chain so that when I get back in contact with them, I remember which one. Because as you can appreciate, people are always messaging me about these sorts of things, you know?
Right. Yes. Right. So you can see it on the WhatsApp on the Cayman number then.
Yes.
All right, Miss Sandra, I'll do that, darling.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. God bless
Okay.
you, my dear.
Thanks
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much. Okay,
Thank you,
then.
ma'am.
All right.
Yes, Miss Sandra, yes.
Like I said, this is a regular thing. What a mess. John, you're paying $2,300 a month for insurance. Well, I know that the ministry is doing some reviews right now, some consultations. I thought I saw something in there about insurance, but I'm gonna double check, John. But yeah, it's crazy. And of course, the older you get, the more they're going to be rating you for all sorts of ridiculous stuff. Wow. Barbara says insurance companies will say that you didn't take the option to pay extra for tornadoes or maybe an earthquake. I self-insured years ago and was able to buy 2 more houses. I put my faith in God. After Ivan, I was one of the few to get my money before the insurance company closed down. Oh my Lord. Marjorie says I let my insurance go. That 3% stopped me from making a claim, and I had to get a loan to pay for my repairs. My damages were the same amount of the deductible, basically. Yep. That's the crazy part. Live Happy says we see them all the time when we go fishing. Yeah, I remember that one in Prospect and the one in Cayman Brac. Sydney says, good morning. Having any insurance is a big scam. Well, it is till you need it. and then, you know, these insurance companies, they're always trying to wiggle their way out of stuff. So it is a gamble. Miss Marjorie says, during Ivan, my house was badly damaged by a tornado in Snug Harbor. No, I have no house insurance. Now I have no house insurance. I built my house from cash, and the house insurance is too much. All right, folks. Marshall reminding us that, yes, the peak of hurricane season is in September, so we still have time to go. Amelia says, yes, they covered it. Well, that was good to know. Dean says, I thought it was a hurricane when I saw it at first. It looks like tornadoes mimic a hurricane in terms of the devastation, certainly, that they can leave behind. And even as you're looking at it in real time, it kind of looks like a hurricane, right? But it's very powerful. They tend to be pretty tight in size, and they come in and then disappear as quickly as they came in. So John, let's talk about this another day, because I do have to go. I promised that I wouldn't go into too much overtime because I am on vacation, but I have to wonder why the jump. So Soka says, Gianna, tell mommy that summer break is for a break from school. You need that downtime for the burnout. Child, please, these kids not getting no burnout, girl. 1 + 1 doesn't change in a few weeks. You sit there. You don't know how much these kids forget. Apparently, they say it's like 20%. The average kid loses 20% of their knowledge in the summer break. So we need to prepare her for year 4, child. So she gets a break. It's not like she's in school all day. Like, if she does the equivalent of 1 hour, she was doing tutoring before we left Cayman. So she was doing like an hour a day for tutoring. Most days right before we left, and then before that she's going like 2-3 times a week with another tutoring center. And then I try to sit down with her every single day. We're going to do a little bit of writing, a little bit of reading, a little bit of math. It ain't never kill nobody, trust me. Here we come again. Thank you, ma'am. So you learned what an indefinite pronoun is? Good. Oak Lane was straight and Elm Drive was curvy. Either would lead us home. Where did you get each from here? That's not in this. Each.
I'm confused.
Okay. So an indefinite pronoun is a pronoun that refers to something that is not specific or exact. For example, all, anything, each, many, and nobody. So you have to read each one and tell it, you need to identify, write the indefinite pronoun in the space on the right. So is anyone home? Where's the indefinite pronoun?
Nobody.
Anyone. No, the answer is in the sentence. So these are all wrong. So this is anyone. I biked with everyone to the pizza parlor. What's the indefinite pronoun?
Everyone.
Okay, go redo those, please. I know you don't have an eraser, so just write it on the side over here.
I do have.
You have an eraser? Okay, redo those. Those are all wrong. You better be checking the homework yourself, honey child. Not gonna hate insurance, but mortgages can jump into a black hole and disappear, says Aliano. People stop the kids in China or Japan ain't complaining. Exactly. Yeah. The Western world, y'all be stressed out over nothing. And the thing about it is, if you make learning fun and engaging, it not really stressing nobody out, if you want my honest opinion. You know, they have to be willing to learn something new every single day. They'll be fine. I think we stress kids out by telling them that these things are stressful when they're really not. Okay, that's CNB messaging me. Oh God, CUC reminded me I owe them some money. Payment reminder. Oh, honey child, how much you say I owe you? Lord God. Yeah, I got to tell you guys my CUC story too about this bill. Oh, this is the House bill. Oh yeah, that one's got so many bills to pay. How much was that one again? Oh, Lord God, that one is. Please note. Oh. Okay. Okay. What? She retired? All right, let me go because I'm going to try to get some work done. All righty. Don't pay them. I know one thing. You'll be sitting in the dark if you don't pay them. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Everyone. Miss Gigi, we got to improve on the handwriting, Naina. Either would lead us home. Already. Brian asked for more paper and the teacher gave him some. Okay, this last one is wrong.
What? I don't understand.
Okay, Brian asked for more paper and the teacher gave him some. What is an indefinite pronoun again? It is a pronoun that refers to something that is not specific or exact. Okay, so Brian asked. Why do you think it's asked? That doesn't make any sense.
Because he asked the teacher.
No, that's the action here. So that's your verb. That's not a pronoun. What else do you think it could be that's not specific?
Some.
Yeah. So correct that one, please. And you see, they even gave you examples here. You got to pay attention because the very next section.
But I don't know.
Okay. I always read books but actual schoolwork in the summer. Never jumped in the sea. You'll be fine, Soka. You got time for all of that. There are lots of hours in the day. So yes, schoolwork keeps the brain working, keeps the cobwebs out. It's good for kids. Y'all stop babying these children. They don't need it. All right. We're going to go though, because the rest of the day, I'm sure we got exciting things planned. Here she comes again. Here she comes again. Okay. Oh, you're back.
Are you happy?
If I'm happy, let me see. Did your cousin find the book she wanted? No, but she found some that she likes. Were your friends at the pool today? No, some went to the movies because it rained. How about everyone went to the movie? You can use the exact same ones all the time. Complete each answer with an indefinite pronoun from the box. You got 5 and you got 5 questions. Each one should have a different one. Erase all of those and redo them, please.
All of them?
Yep. Well, you can leave 2, but you can't reuse the 2 words when you have 5 words to choose from. There's 5 questions and 5 words. So that meant that they wanted you to use 1 of the 5 for each, All right, we gotta go. Miss Gigi, if you have 5 options and 5 questions, wouldn't it make sense to use 1 each instead of using 2 over and over again? All right, folks, we're out of here. We're going to go do some schoolwork today because we can see the focus is already slipping. I wonder if we should have a whole day of schoolwork. Then you better focus, because if we ain't focusing, we're not going anywhere. All right, beautiful folks. Mañana is Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Somebody said, listen to this, Sandra. Somebody sent me something. Oh, yeah. Lord have mercy. All right. Y'all have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.